Hello, I'm SquidofLove, welcome back. Today we are going to take a closer look at the Viper Mark IV, a heavier version of the Viper Mark III that was added to the game with the 1.5 ships update. We will try to see how it can perform the different activities of Elite Dangerous, but also what are its main differences from its predecessor, the Viper Mark III. Before we go ahead and take a look at the stats of the Viper Mark IV, let's take a quick peek inside the interior, inside the cockpit. Well, nothing impressive, nothing interesting. A focused to combat interior. We can see that this is not a very good ship for sightseeing or exploration, but it is mainly good for focusing on your target ahead of you and try to destroy him. So let's continue and see what are the stats of the Viper Mark IV, what are the modules that it can be equipped with, and how we can improve them. The Viper Mark IV could be considered as a heavy fighter, actually a heavier fighter than its predecessor, the Viper Mark III, and its cost is at around 427k credits. It is not a very fast ship, it is actually slower than the Viper Mark III, with its normal speed going up to 271 meters per second and its boost speed reaching 342 meters per second. It's not very agile either, with its maneuverability being at level 4. The value of the shields is at 103, again lower than the Viper Mark III, but it has significantly stronger armor at 270. The Viper Mark IV with its base loadout has an available power of 10.4, a maximum cargo capacity of 18 tons, and a quite decent jump rates at 10.36 light years and 9.69 light years laden. It can be equipped with a class 4 power plant, thrusters and frame seat drive, which are all one class higher than the Viper Mark III, and a class 2 life support and class 3 power distributor and sensors, which are all three the same with the Viper Mark III. Its fuel tank has a capacity of 16, while the fuel tank of the Viper Mark III has a capacity of only 4, so that means that with the combination of this fuel tank and the frame seat drive, which is better than the Viper Mark III, the Viper Mark IV could be used for traveling around easier than the Viper Mark III, than its predecessor. It has 6 internal compartments, of which 2 class 4, 1 class 3, 2 class 2 and 1 class 1, 2 internal compartments more than the Viper Mark III, and because it has an internal compartment of class 4, it means that it can be equipped with a better shield generator than its predecessor, again with a shield generator of class 4. As for the hardpoints, both ships are identical, they have the same number of hardpoints, 4 hardpoints and 2 utility mounts, 2 medium hardpoints and 2 small hardpoints. So let's go ahead now and equip our Viper Mark IV with the best modules. We can equip it with the best basic modules and see how much better our stats will be. With the best modules equipped, our Viper Mark IV has an available power of 15.6, which is quite decent, and a very good jump range at 24.23 light years. That means that our Viper Mark IV might be a nice option for traveling around, doing some exploration. We will find out soon. Let's go ahead and start checking the Viper Mark IV and its capabilities in the different activities of Elite Dangerous. We are going to start with trading and see what is the maximum cargo capacity this vessel can have. With only cargo racks equipped, our Viper Mark IV has a maximum cargo capacity of 50 tons, which is quite good for a ship of that price, and its laden jump rate is at 20.04 light years. If we go ahead and equip the lowest possible shield generator we can equip the Viper Mark IV, then our cargo capacity will be at 42 tons with a laden jump rate at 20.25 light years with an A3 shield generator. It seems like the Viper Mark IV might be a nice option for starting trading, for starting delivering goods from one station to another in order to make some profit. What is also good, what it also looks good on this vessel is the fact that it could be used for completing missions, for traveling around and accepting even smuggling missions, normal hauling missions, try to make some profit like this. It is of course a much better option than the Viper Mark III, which can only have a cargo capacity of 22 tons with only cargo racks equipped, or 20 tons of cargo with a bi-weave shield generator of class 1 equipped on it. We can even equip our ship for mining if we want with 2 class 2 mining lasers, a refinery with up to 6 bins. We can go with more, but we will have to sacrifice some cargo space for that, for a better refinery, and a collector limit controller. Again, we could upgrade the collector limit controller, but we will have to sacrifice some cargo space. We have a shield generator of A3 for some protection, and still plenty of power if we want to add some more weapons and defensive modules. Our car capacity like this is at 36 tons, which is quite decent for starting with mining, for learning how mining works, and in general testing this activity to see if you like it. But what about its capabilities as a traveling vessel? Can we use it as a rare goods trader or even exploration vessel? Let's go ahead and find out. I have downgraded pretty much everything except the frame seat drive, of course, like always. The seat generator is a D3 instead of the A3, and everything else is equipped with cargo racks and a fuel scoop. I have chosen the best fuel scoop, an A4, that can be equipped with. Like this, our car capacity is at 26 tons, which is not very good for rare goods trading. And at jump range, our latent jump range is quite good, quite decent, 22.53 light years. So you will be able to use the Viper Mark IV in rare goods trading, but because of the lower cargo capacity, you're not gonna make a lot of profit. We could try to downgrade the fuel scoop and replace the fuel scoop with a cargo rack. In this case, with a fuel scoop of A2, our cargo capacity is at 38 tons, almost 40 tons, and our latent jump range is at 21.53 light years. So this is a much better loadout if you want to use the Viper Mark IV for rare goods trading. You will have to wait a bit longer to replenish your fuel, but thanks to the capacity of 16 of the fuel tank, that's not gonna be a very big problem. So if you really want to do some rare goods trading with the Viper Mark IV, I think 38 tons of cargo capacity are good, and obviously 21.53 light years latent jump range is excellent. So yes, this is a nice vessel for that activity as well. What about exploration? Is the Viper Mark IV good at exploration? Thanks to the 6 internal compartments it has, we can equip it with everything that is necessary for exploration: Elite Dangerous, Advanced Scanner Scanner, Detailed Surface Scanner, Planetary Vehicle Hangar if you want to visit the surface of a planet, Seat Generator if you want some protection, you can remove this if you feel brave, an Autofill Maintenance Unit, very important after the Horizon expansion, and the best fuel scoop for replenishing your fuel. Our jump range like this is at 24.10 light years, and with the capacity 16 of the fuel tank, I think the Viper Mark IV is a quite decent option for starting some exploration, for doing some exploration as a new player. All these are without anything equipped, so let's equip some Hitching Launchers and some Class 1 weapons. So with 2 Hitching Launchers and 2 Class 1 Pulse Lasers, our jump range is at 23.45. Definitely a very nice option for starting doing some exploration, again if you want to test this activity and see if you like it. And it is of course a much better option than the Viper Mark III for exploration, not only because it has a better jump range. The jump range of the Viper Mark III with this loadout is at 18.74 light years, but that's not the main problem. The main problem is the capacity 4 of the fuel tank, which sucks for exploring, and the fact that it doesn't have enough internal compartments. So you will only be able to equip some scanners, a seat generator if you want protection, or you can remove it for an Autofill Maintenance Unit or a Planetary Vehicle Hangar, and a fuel scoop. But you will never be able to have all the necessary modules for exploration at the same time. So we have seen so far that the Viper Mark IV is a quite decent option for trading, rare goods trading, mining, even exploration. If you want to test these activities and want to use the Viper Mark IV, you can do it without any real problem. What about combat? Is it good enough to justify its role as a heavy fighter? This is what we are going to try and find out right now. I have chosen a split loadout, 2 Class 2 multi-cannons and 2 Class 1 pulse lasers, a Chaff Launcher and a Hitching Launcher on the utility mounts. And thanks to the very good available power it has, we can equip the best seat generator, an A4, and 2 Silver Banks, one A4 and one A3. Our jump range like this is at 20.79 light years, so you can even equip a fuel scoop if you want and travel around in order to find better combat opportunities. Let's get out of here and see how good is the Viper Mark IV in combat. But of course, before we try our Viper Mark IV in combat, let's take a look at its speed. We know that with the base loadout it's not as fast as the Viper Mark III. Let's see with this combat loadout. Our normal speed with 4 pips on the engine is at 295. Not the best, not as bad either. If we boost, it can go up to 371. It's not really that bad. Yeah, 371. The Viper Mark III though is faster, 326 normal speed, and of course it has better sound, and if we boost, our speed is going up to 407. It is indeed much faster than the Viper Mark IV, and it also has better maneuverability. Let's try our Viper Mark IV against this Asp Explorer. Let's go closer and start the attack. Thanks to the very good placement of the hardpoints, we can shoot our weapons at the same time without any real problem. We don't have to elevate the nose or do something special. This is mainly because of the shape of the Viper Mark IV, and this is its main difference from the Viper Mark III. It is slightly easier to use all four weapons if they are fixed on your target than the Viper Mark III. You will have to keep your nose a bit elevated if you want not to miss with the 2 class 2 hardpoints that are under the hull. And the firepower is not very bad. If we can keep our weapons, all four of our weapons, on our target, we can take them down quite easily.
Scan detected.
Let's put more power weapons. Down to 94%. Yeah, well, it's not very maneuverable, but it's not that bad either. You can use it to do some fighting, some fun fighting, and if you really have problems with turnaround, you can always use flight assist off. Yeah, the problem is the shield. Let's use one shield cell.
Warning,
heat sink, or else we are gonna
taking heat damage.
Die from the heat. Let's return and kill it. We definitely need heat launchers if we want to survive using shield cell banks.
Target shields
yeah, the maneuverability is not the best. It's not a big problem, but it's definitely not the best.
Target shields offline.
We do have enough firepower though to deal with shield cells of the NPC. Let's kill it. I like especially the fact that we can fire with all of our weapons easily, even if they are fixed weapons. Let's get in there and finish this asp. Well, it was a tough opponent, it was an elite Asp Explorer, and it's now dead. Let's try our Viper Mark IV against this Federal gunship. Let's get closer and start the attack. All 4 pips on the weapons. Let's see what we can do against it. It's a bigger and a heavier vessel, so even with our maneuverability at level 4, we still don't have serious problems staying behind it. Of course, in order to use it effectively, we will have to change always the power from weapons to engine to shields. It's a heavy vessel, it doesn't turn around easily, so since it doesn't seem to be carrying any turrets, this is not a threat for us.
Scan detected.
Let's use our multi-cannons.
Scan
Let's
detected.
get out of here. Well, it did crash. Blame the NPC and the annoying tactic of trying to ram us every time.
Under attack.
Let's use a shield cell. As you can see our power didn't go up because we had the heatsink launcher.
Heatsink deployed.
It's quite important to have heatsinks if you want to use some shield cells with your Viper Mark IV. Yeah, as you can tell, its turrets are now operational and we have some problems. We can see that the lack of maneuverability is a slight problem with the Viper Mark IV. It's not a huge problem. It requires some practicing to get used at it, and we can always use some flight assist off or reversing tactics. Yeah, we will kill it. But if we were against a harder target, such as an Elite Anaconda with some turrets, this fight might have been a lot more dangerous. Let's put more power on shields. Let's start using our chaff already. Yeah, well, it's dead. It could have been a lot worse, a lot more dangerous. Thankfully it wasn't. With some adjustments to the loadout, we can even use the Viper Mark IV in Piracy with a hatch breaker limit controller, a framesheet drive interdictor and 20 tons of cargo capacity. Of course, we have a cargo scanner equipped on the utility mounts. The only real problem will be the lack of speed. It may be hard to chase your targets, especially if they are faster than you. This was the Viper Mark IV, a heavier, more compact version of the Viper Mark III that it seems to be a decent option for pretty much every activity in Elite Dangerous. Despite the fact that it is considered a heavy fighter though, you might have some serious problems if you decide to fight against better equipped and better armored targets. And this is mainly because of the lack of maneuverability. Other than that, it is a fun little ship, fun little ship that you could give it a try and do some fun combat or whatever else in the game you want. Thank you very much for joining me watching this video. I'm SquidofLove and I will see you next time. Bye bye.